Targa Florio, Mila Miglia, magical names of ancient races that still conjure up images of classic sports cars thundering through narrow village streets and flying across the countryside. That tradition still lives on in North America in a grueling week-long rally around Newfoundland. It's 5 days and 2,100 kilometers on the open road. For some, it's a dream of a lifetime, a chance to prove your mettle and discover new horizons. But at its core, it's an adventure that leaves every driver with memories that will last forever. Welcome to the 7th annual Targa Newfoundland. Hello, Canada. Vic Rutter along with TSN's rally analyst Paul Chater, and we're here in beautiful St. John's for the start of the 7th annual Targa Newfoundland.
Welcome to Targa Newfoundland.
Vic, this event is gaining a reputation among road racers and rally drivers as one of the ultimate tests. Every year it attracts an eclectic cast of weird and wonderful cars. The rules are set so that everybody has an equal chance to win, whether they're in a fire-breathing muscle car or a vintage Opel. Mark Williams explains.
Well, the key difference here is we want to make it just as easy for a slower, older car to win or place very well as a modern, very fast car. The way we do that is we give each one of those different classes of cars fit into different target times. So an older car has a slower target time to make than a newer car. So what the objective then of the driver is to meet or beat their assigned target times. And for every second that they are slower than their target time for their class, they will get a 1 second penalty. And whoever ends up with the least number of penalties wins.
In effect, it doesn't matter what you're driving. Just push it right to its limits and you'll do well at the target.
And Paul, the competition takes place over 5 days. We'll have 37 closed road special stages. In all, the Targa races will cover 2,100 kilometers.
65 teams will start, including a record 6 factory-backed manufacturer teams with professional drivers like Andrew Comrie-Picard and Frank Sprongel. But most are privateers who prepared the cars themselves. For them, Targa has become an annual obsession, the race of the year.
Now, usually rallies have the fastest guys at the front, slower cars at the back, but Targa, well, they turned that around. Cars run at 30-second intervals with the fastest cars at the back. That's what the Sunday prologue is all about, 2 qualifying stages that set the running order. It's the only place where you can see a Lotus and a Porsche 911 all together.
You know, coming in on the plane, as we toured, I lifted the blind and I saw glorious St. John in the setting sun. I had a chill, and I felt like I was coming home. I'm a guy from Quebec. I come to Newfoundland. I'm coming to my Targa home.
The citizens of Torbay were the first to see the SRT8 Challenger at speed. The driver, design chief Ralph Gio.
It's very difficult. I have always called it the Iron Man of motorsports.
This is not a sprint. This is a marathon.
Because 5 days long. So on the 3rd day you're wiped out, and the 4th day you're loony. On the 5th day you can't even think anymore.
If anyone knows how to win Targa, it's Bill Arnold. This Californian has won 3 times, and his car specifically built for the event.
In order to win, you have to finish. Keep it on the road. Don't overdrive your own personal limits, and don't overdrive the car's limits.
Because everything has to work right. You can't make any big mistakes, and you have to have a little bit of good luck, and the car has to work the way you hope.
A modern car has never won Targa outright, but Jim Kenzie in the Mini Canada's official entry has come close. His strategy? Simple.
Well, as usual, the car won't break, my navigator won't make a mistake, and I'm too chicken to drive fast enough to crash. That's worked pretty well for the first 6 Targas. I've been fortunate enough to do them all, and we've done pretty well so far with that strategy, and we're going to do the same thing again.
Another veteran of 6 Targas is Scott Ganu, and St. John's native. His best result was a 5th overall last year. If you recognize this car, you really know your automotive trivia. It's a 66 NSU.
This is our first year. My navigator and myself both ran dirt for 10 years, oval track. So we just had to go fast and turn left. Now we actually have to turn right and brake and shift. So it's lots of fun.
So NSU fans are jumping for joy. But let's fast forward 43 years. A brand new Mitsubishi and brand new Subaru.
Got to keep coming back to Targa Newfoundland. It's just one of those events that everybody gets along great. The people in Newfoundland are great. The competition is great this year. It's really going to be fun.
Targa Newfoundland is a different event. Fortunately, I've been out here the last couple of years doing some of the media work and picked up a little about the event, but I'm still very respectful that this is a different event than the kind of thing we normally run.
You can go to a car show, you can drive fast, and have a lot of fun, and maybe even a Jigs dinner in the middle of it all.
Targa Newfoundland on TSN is presented by Sirius Satellite Radio, now available in over 160 vehicles in Canada. The prologue is over. We'll go racing when we come back. Welcome back to Targa Newfoundland. The first closed road special stage will be through Argentia, followed by a 7-kilometer blast through neighboring Placentia. In order to safely close all the roads, an army of 2,500 volunteers has been assembled to post notices, set up barricades, and roll out over 400 kilometers of banner tape.
Day one will be the Goodyear North Avalon leg. Teams will cover 460 kilometers as they run from St. John's to Gander, with stages in Argentia, Placentia, Aditown, Deep Bite, Port Blandford, and Eastport. It's a long day and just the first of 5.
Our oldest car will start first. It's the 1953 Austin Healey 100 of Ontario's Mike Salter and co-driver American Michael Orrin.
Salter's all-aluminum Healey is extremely rare and valuable, but he drives it like it was meant to be driven. He nearly rode it off in a huge wreck back in 2002 at Targa. Race cars are like hammers. They last forever if you keep replacing the head and the shaft.
Judd Buchanan, Jim Adams in their 67 Acadian Kanzo Sport Coupe. This is a highly modified V8 muscle car, all kinds of modern stuff on it. So how can it race head-to-head against an old Healey?
Different classes are given different target times, so to remain penalty-free, Buchanan has to cover the first 2 stages 1 minute faster than Salter in the Healey.
And look at this Group B Audi Quattro, the original 4-wheel drive rally monster, driven by 6-time Canadian rally champion Frank Sprongel.
This is a 500 horsepower X-Works World Rally car built in 1983. It's entered by Audi Canada, and they've entered the fastest open class. The Audi is one of 6 factory-backed teams here at Targa. They compete for a special new trophy this year, the Sirius President's Cup.
And about as far as you can get from a 25-year-old Quattro, here is the official Lexus entry, the hybrid. That's right, state-of-the-art hybrid race car driven by Montreal auto writer Marc LaChapelle, the 2008 National Rally champion, Alan Ockwell co-driving.
This car is a rocket, and look at the interior. This has to be the most luxurious race car ever. But don't be fooled, these guys would post some fast times on the long flowing stages.
So we've heard a 5-cylinder turbo, a gas-electric hybrid. Now let's turn the Wayback Machine. 1969 and some good old Camaro V8 Thunder. Mike McKenzie, Kirk Alexander from Nova Scotia. Mike's a longtime stock car racer, but he's done some Trans Am road racing too, and of course the roads are a little wider here.
Over Placentia's landmark bridge comes the Porsche 911 of Reverend Edison and Margot Wiltshire. They minister to a congregation in Clarenville where he's known as the Faster Pastor.
For me, in my line of work, I would have never dreamed in a million years before Targa came to Newfoundland that I'd ever be doing this.
Over the years, the organizers have learned that crashes tend to happen early in the event when the adrenaline is pumping hardest. So they set the target time so it's relatively easy to clean the stages. As the week goes on, the times go down with the speed goes up.
Hi, Targa audience. Why don't you get Andrew singing some more? He's really good.
I used to buy the kids to the fish. I used to buy the race of the car. I know you're going to use it. Nice to know.
Time for lunch, and it was served by the local ladies at the Port Blandford Legion, and then it's swapping times and stories until the start of the next stage.
It's going good. We had a bit of a mistake, navigational mistake, so we're out of plate. We can't win a plate. We're coming here to finish. It's going good. The navigator's picking it up better and better all the time. Car's working great. Yeah, it's going good.
I think you got to come out of the day clean if you want to be in the money. You don't want to be stupid clean, save the car, but you got to be clean.
15 teams cleaned Port Blandford and Eastport. Sadly, not amongst them was the Blue Mini 1959 of Pledger and Willett from Las Vegas. Nicknamed Lucy, the car's already starting to fall apart a little. They're part of a team that pledged to pool resources to keep each other going through Targa.
Lucy, you got some splaining to do. So we've met Lucy. This is Betty, another 59 Mini, although much better prepared and driven very quickly by Targa veteran Richard Patterson of Toronto. Lucy and Betty are the surviving members of what was a 3-car team. Molly crashed heavily on stage 2 and became a donor car to the 2 survivors. And just as Scott Gnu predicted, the top contenders managed to meet or beat their times on day 1. 3-time overall winner Bill Arnold shows how it's done. Alan Ryle is the co-driver.
Nice and neat, not using all the road, but those tires have got to last the whole week. There's a 1-minute penalty for changing tires.
Here are last year's winners, Roy Hopkins, Adrian Hughes from New York in their SpongeBob painted 69 BMW 2002 model. You'll hear Adrian shouting out the turns, but these aren't the pace notes that we're used to hearing in Canadian rallies.
No, Vic, these teams have not practiced or inspected the course at all. They have a route book with tulip diagrams which tell them which way to go, but these guys are seeing the course for the first time at racing speed.
Here's John Painter, considerably exceeding the posted speed limit. This looks more like the rally cars that we are used to seeing.
Yeah, it's an 09 STI entered in the Series President's Cup by Subaru Canada. The car is nearly a clone of the car that won the Canadian Championship last year, but with a tarmac spec suspension and showroom standard gearbox.
And wherever there's Subaru, you're going to find a Mitsubishi. This is the 08 Evolution of Andrew Comrie-Picard and Jen Horsey. Both teams perfect, clean through 5 stages day 1.
The old Audi is clean too, you know, and all the hundreds of rallies Frank Sprongel has competed in. This is the first event on pavement.
Day 1 ends in Gander at the Community Center. The city of Gander has been a great supporter of Targa. The rally spends 2 nights here, and wait until you see the crazy special stage coming up through town.
It's great. I heard a lot of stuff about this event, and now doing it myself, it's a real blast. Last stage today, we kind of had to step it up a little bit, so we still zeroed it, but tomorrow and Wednesday and Thursday is going to be extremely quick.
You're allowed to work on your car in the parking lot all night if necessary. Then, after a wash, it moves indoors to a public car show.
So at the end of day 1, 15 teams are clean, having met or exceeded their target times through the first 5 stages. But it's all about to change on day 2.
You watch. You take them and then you slam them together. All right?
It's loud.
Yes, it's loud, but it's fun. Your mother will love them.
If you live on the North Atlantic, you've got to expect some weather. Nothing like 2007 when Targa actually ran through a hurricane. And a bit of rain, Paul, won't keep the Gander kids from watching the race.
Lake 2 is presented by Rogers Yahoo. 8 stages today as the teams run north to Appleton, Lewisport, Port Leamington, along the Bay of Exploits to Leading Tickles, then back through Bobby's Cove, Pleasant View, Glenwood, and finishing with the infamous Gander Special Stage.
Paul, that highly regarded Shelby Mustang, Chip Bruner from Virginia, he had trouble on day 1, but Judd Buchanan is still a contender, part of a 15-way tie for first.
Yeah, the old school muscle cars are at a disadvantage when the road is damp, but the rain didn't amount to much. Target times are increased by 6% to keep things safe, and you don't want to take a penalty by changing tires.
Mike McKenzie is a Chevy man to the bone. He races a Monte Carlo on the Maritime Stock Car Tour, and he works as a shop foreman at Forbes Chev-Olds in Halifax. Mike stays clean, and he's in the hunt.
Here's what a totally modern muscle car looks like. Ralph Schill and Karen Wagner in the factory-backed 2008 Dodge Challenger. They're competing in the Series President's Cup for manufacturers, but Ralph doesn't like to call it a factory effort. It's more a bunch of Chrysler employee Targa fans trying out Mopar parts on their own time, sort of a backdoor skunk works team.
Now, Jim Kenzie's little Mini had been seated ahead of that lime green Challenger, and Kenzie didn't like the thought of getting caught and passed on the long straights that are part of the Point Leamington stage, so he let Gilles go first. But as it turned out, Kenzie caught and passed the Dodge just before they came down the hill into Leading Tickles, and it was the highlight of the whole week for Team Mini.
Both teams made their target. The 6% time bonus for wet roads doesn't sound like much, but over the whole 31-kilometer stage distance, it's a lot, and most teams made it easily. Notice I said most teams. We started Lake 2 with 15 cars clean with no penalties. Well, now you can make that 14.
Just missed call. Just come over top of the hill too quick. That's all it was. Just had it a little too hot when it came to the corner, hit the loose gravel, and all over with the crying after that. There's my first Targa stripe. I have to go back and face all my friends at home now with hitting the house. That was the only thing I told them I wasn't going to do, and there it sits against the house.
Well, damage is light. Quigley and Nouse will keep running, though they're out of contention. At Targa, teams are encouraged to finish no matter what. If you miss a stage, you miss a day, no problem. You get it fixed and get back to racing.
Moose stew, Jig's dinner, they're on the menu for lunch. And when you're in Leading Tickles, maybe a phone call or two. The next stage would be a return run, Paul, from Leading Tickles to Point Leamington, but much faster in the opposite direction. New Yorkers Hopkins and Hughes are among the leaders, and we're going to ride along.
Yeah, Vic, and you don't see too many race cars painted with a sponge.
And in psychedelic colors. But it looks very good, doesn't it?
And here's Jim Kenzie with co-driver Brian Bourbonniere. You'll notice that he's starting in front of the Dodge Green Monster.
Now, Paul, the Mini 107 is one of the most popular cars to ever compete on the Rock. It has toured auto shows all over North America. But as it goes by, this is the last our cameras would ever see of the famous Targa Mini. What a mess. Look at the debris. The car had rolled and gone end over end at least twice.
Just slid a little bit to the right and off we came. Nothing was wrong. Nothing was going wrong. Just a little too hot, I guess, for the corner. I talked to him in the ambulance before they took him. He seems okay. And we agreed that I would stay here, so I'll make sure we get our stuff from here and get this mopped up.
Jim was checked out at the local hospital and released, a testament to the safety equipment in modern rally cars.
Welcome to Gander!
We're back in Gander for the final stage of day 2, and Paul, if Targa Newfoundland has a signature stage, this would be it.
It's a special stage through the suburban streets, crescents, and driveways of a housing development. All the neighbors get out their lawn chairs and cheer for their favorites. It's like a 7-kilometer jigsaw puzzle. The short straights and constant 90-degree turns are really tough for the drivers and even harder on the co-drivers. Over the years, Gander has been a decisive spot.
As we ride along with California's Bill Arnold and Alan Ryle of Toronto, they know the stage well. He manages to average 78 kilometers an hour over the distance. Unbelievable.
The big Lexus hybrid has been doing great, but Gander is not the place for a 4,500-pound car. They're at a huge disadvantage on course, better suited to a go-kart.
Now, just over halfway through, Andrew Comrie-Picard, who started 30 seconds behind, catches the Lexus.
Both cars are in the Series President's Cup, but ACP has a tougher time to beat, so Lexus co-driver Alan Ockwell makes the call.
Let him go. Pull over and slow down.
ACP will round the final turn and trip the timing lights in 5 minutes, 7.8 seconds at an average speed of 81 kilometers per hour. Look at those brake rotors, red hot.
Gander was the end of the road for the front-running Newfoundland driver, Scott Canoe. He and Ray Felice had been in the pack of teams, tied for the lead in their Porsche 911.
Just coming in there, I went to downshift, and I guess I missed the gear, and I don't know what happened. All I know is engine lost power, and I bent the valves.
Toronto dentist Dimitri Andreou had been the absolute fastest over several stages, including during the prologue qualifying stages in his Mitsu Evo 8. But watch what happens here. Just this momentary distraction. Oh, Frank Sprongel doesn't even miss a beat, like those Evos are always coming at him backwards. The old Audi goes on to post the fastest time, average speed 82 km per hour.
The only driver who could equal that speed was Mike McKenzie in the 69 Camaro, who posted exactly the same time. Only one team got through all leg 2 stages without a penalty, and that was the 67 Shelby Mustang of Bruner and Pearson. Unfortunately, they lost a lot of time on the first day.
The big tie, though, broken, and the undisputed leader is the BMW, the 2002 of Hopkins and Hughes. They lead Targa Newfoundland by 1 second over McKenzie and Alexander's Camaro. Bill Arnold's a mere 2 seconds behind them, with Judd Buchanan breathing down his neck.
The top 4 are all classics built before 1981. Comrie-Picard's Mitsubishi leads the moderns and the Series President's Cup for manufacturers. After watching them roar past their houses, it's time to meet the drivers up close in the local arena. These evening car shows are an important part of the Targa, and the drivers enjoy it as much as the fans.
We took 9 seconds of penalty total for the day, all in the last 2 stages. It's only day 2, and all I want to make sure is that we're in a good enough position come day 5 to take the thing overall. Man, it's fun, and everybody here gets into it. The support of the community is amazing. The kids are insane. We're just doing autographs, and they're loving it. So, you know, I get to race all over North America. This, just for pure emotion and heartstrings, is maybe the best place to be.
And everyone very relieved to see Kenzie safe and sound after the big wreck in the Mini.
I'm fine. We had Jim checked out.
My lights went out for a little while. We wouldn't be here in this condition without a really, really stout cage. And the helmet and the hands device and the seat belts and all the things that we wear to protect ourselves in cases like this, and they did their job. So.
It looks like a long night out in the parking lot, and there's still 3 days to go. The Targa Newfoundland. A picture postcard kind of day awaits as the survivors get ready to leave Gander. It is day 3 of Targa Newfoundland. And exhaustion starting to show on some of the faces and more of the cars. They don't call this the Iron Man of motorsports for nothing.
The differential, the limited slip clutch pack, blew up at the end of the day. It was bad all day yesterday. I hit a pothole about the size of a garbage can and bent the left front suspension up pretty badly. So we had to tear this corner of the car out, rebuild it, and replace the differential last night, so we're a little tired this morning.
Thrifty Car Rental presents Leg 3.
We have nearly 100 kilometers of stages today around the Kittiwake Coast, starting in Main Point and running through Davidsville, Fredericton, Noggin Cove, Carmenville, Musgrave Harbor, New West Valley, Gooseberry Cove, and finishing through the central Newfoundland town of Clarenville.
And Paul, do you remember Lucy, that Las Vegas Mini? Well, she got a motor transplant overnight. Whoa, 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 whoa!
The speeds demanded at Musgrave Harbor are just about impossible, as we saw. 3rd overall, Bill Arnold is flat out the old Bavaria. Arnold picks up 2 seconds of penalties, but that's good enough to move up.
It must be difficult not to have a look at the scenery when you're running like that. Mike McKenzie, the Nova Scotia stock car racer, started the day in 2nd place, 1 second behind here at Musgrave Harbor. He'll lose time to Bill Arnold and drop into 3rd.
The Lexus Hybrid, which struggled in Gander last night, is in its element on the Kittiwake Coast. Mark LaChapelle will move up from 15th to 8th. The sound of this car is so different. It moves to the start line silently on electric power, but then under hard acceleration, there's that great exhaust note, but never a gear change.
John Painter in the Subaru was fastest on the stage, but in Winnie, he broke that right front suspension. That'll slow him the rest of the day. Now, another reason to put the old cars at the back where they spray dirt all over the place. The day's lunch stop, the Barber Historic Site, Newtown, where they're going to be throwing confetti, not rocks.
Oh, actually, we met quite a few years ago on Savory Island.
He was driving down the road, and I gave him a big smile.
And I saw Sharon walking up the road, and I thought, boy, that looks pretty good. And she gave me a big smile, and I gave her a big smile. And
that's how we kind of caught each other's attention. We drove Targa last year, and at the end of Targa, we were walking down the main street of St. John's, and he just popped the question.
As I turned to Sharon, I said, we should get married at Targa, and she agreed. So that's what we're going to do.
Our very best wishes to Pete Lazier and Sharon Midler, driver and co-driver of the BMW number 1028.
They're competing in the Grand Touring category. It's a time-distance speed style of rally where the emphasis is on maintaining an average speed and precise timing. Speeds are much lower, so the standard of preparation and safety equipment is not as serious. That's not to say, however, that touring doesn't attract some great cars and drivers.
This Carrera 4, driven by a Canadian racing legend, Eppie Wietz's.
Newfoundlanders Alan Curley and Greg Martin finished as a top team without a rally computer, but this year's Grand Touring champs were John Vandermeerden and Stu Lehman in a supercharged Lotus Exige.
Back with the Targa runners now. Judd Buchanan took small penalties on 2 stages during day 3. It was Only an 11-second penalty, but enough to drop from 4th to 5th overall, 22 behind the leader.
The Painter brothers hang on to 6th place, but they've lost ground to the leaders.
And Paul, the last stage of the day is 4.5 kilometers run through the town of Clarenville. And this is the Mazda Miata of Keith and Janelle Tanner of Colorado. And they really ace this. Look at, they actually catch and pass a 73 Corvette of Irish racers Tom and Kieran Hayes.